Okay, aloha siblings. My name is Bill, and my pronouns are he, him, and his. You know, and then just to add, because it amuses me to add another layer, I'm a straight cis guy. I mean, I don't think that surprises anybody, but, you know, there it is. Just, you know, I don't know, it's just details about me, attributes, as you will, whatever. You know, just to, like, 'cause I don't know if I said it before on this channel or not, I'll say it again, just because it's, I think, you know, whatever, that explains my behavior, I suppose. The whole siblings thing, right? For years, I used to just, you know, being sort of the hippie-esque sort of guy. I can't really call myself, you know, I don't know, hippie, just, I don't know, I don't like the, you know, whatever, fine, I'll wear the label, who cares. But so, you know, I habitually call people brother and sister all the time, you know, back in the day. But, you know, it came to my mind that I was, I was blowing off a whole bunch of people, you know, unintentionally, right? It's like, okay, dude, if you're going to be inclusive and you're the loving, you know, advocating agape hippie guy, you know, anyway, so that's why aloha siblings, right? Anyway, this is Mastermind. Well, it's Codebreaker, but similar to Mastermind, right? You've probably all seen me play this, or many of you have probably seen me play this. But a couple of people have left comments about they didn't quite get the intricacies of the game, or, like, you know, they were having trouble following along or whatever. Because maybe when I'm just playing through, I don't always make it clear what's happening. So I figured what I would do is, this is just going to be, I guess, a tutorial, right? So let's just go over, you know, what the game is about. So you're guessing a code, right? Each code will have 5 different colors in it, right? There's no doubling up of colors in the code. However, I use doubling up or tripling up or whatever of colors frequently, because it just helps me strategize positions, or, you know, logically, you know, figure out where things go. And that'll, as I go along, I'll explain why I choose to play the game the way I choose to play the game. Now, there's other people who have different strategies. I tend to be pretty successful at this. So, you know, so there you go. I'm going to show you my strategy. And you can, you know, learn from it maybe, or develop your own or whatnot. Anyway, so let's get into the nuts and bolts of it. Okay, so here's your playing board. This is representing the final code. So imagine that the computer has generated a code. It's actually just sitting in memory somewhere, right? But the idea is that this represents that spot. Okay, so you're going to put your guesses along this row here. And when you're satisfied with your guess, you'll click accept. And then over here to the right, in place of the accept button, because that'll just move up for your next guess, you'll get a score. Potentially 5 marbles to score these 5 larger marbles that are your guessing marbles, right? These are the guessing marbles, these are your scoring marbles, right? I guess they call them answer marbles. All right. So a black answer marble represents that it's in the code and in the right position, right? So the idea is that you found where that marble goes. And a white marble, and the scoring thing, or the answer thing, means that it's the colors there, but you haven't found the right spot yet. Now here's the thing you have to be careful of. They're just going to do them in order here, as far as, like, you know, all the black ones get scored and then all the white ones get scored, right? They don't necessarily correspond to the position here. And I think that'll make sense. If I play it, will be easier. All right, so excuse me. So I'm going to start with, this is just, I think I've done this before, but I'm going to start again. It's not the best strategy to play, but I'm just going to start with this, just so you can see what's going on. So I'm going to just play all red, right? So all I'm really doing here is just trying to see if is red in the game, right? That's all that's going to tell me. If red's in the game, I'll get a black marble, but I clearly I don't know which of those 5 spots. So there we go. But what I have to do now, since it scored nothing, right? That means that red is not in the game, right? There's no red in the code up here. So I'm going to do a similar thing with orange, right? And we'll see what that gets us. And orange is in the game, cool. And I just don't know which of these 5 spots, right? So I'm going to arbitrarily just choose one of the 5 spots. I tend to work left to right just because of, you know, English, the reading pattern and all of that, right? Yeah. Okay, So there's my guess for orange. Now, to be clear, this is just a guess at this point. I haven't really deduced anything. All right, so I'm going to introduce the next color. So now what we're testing is a couple of things, right? I know that orange is in the puzzle. I just don't know where. So, orange could be there, right? And now I'm going to see if yellow is in it. So I need to get multiple, well, I need to specifically get two answer marbles over here, right? I don't want, to do, let's see what we get. All right, so now I know that orange does not go here. Now, why is it that I know that? If orange is correct in this spot, that means that yellow is in fact in the puzzle, but not in any of these four spots. So, that would mean that both yellow and orange would have to occupy the same spot. This game doesn't do any weirdnesses about, multiple instances occupying the same spot, right? This is just pretty straightforward. So, it means that yellow is in fact in the puzzle, but one of these four spots, and that orange is not here, right? Okay, I hope that's clear. All right, so I'm going to, again, arbitrarily choose that. I'm just going to pick over here now. This is just an oddball symmetry thing. You could, well, here, you know what, I'll do this just to continue with the left to right thing. All right, so if the yellow goes there, that means that orange has to take up one of these three spots. All right, so let's just move it to that spot there. Now let's introduce green. Okay, so now let's see what we get here. Okay, since we know from this line that both orange and yellow are in it, right, then this line tells us that orange and yellow are still in it, but green is out, right? I only got two scoring marbles, so it's referring to these two. Now I have to figure out, or guess, I guess, really, because there's not enough information for me to deduce much, really. So, which one is the black marble and which one is the white marble? So I'm going to arbitrarily choose that it's the yellow marble. So this is an if the yellow marble goes there, then the orange marble has to go one of these two spots here, right? So I'm going to, again, arbitrarily choose that one, just moving it along. And now I'm going to introduce this light blue color, or sometimes I call it turquoise. I don't know what's another good name for it. All right, anyway, so let's see what this yields. All right. Now, it doesn't mean, because there's a lot of possibilities that are going on here, so it doesn't mean just because I keep getting this black marble that it has to be the yellow one. However, I've seen nothing that indicates that it can't be the yellow one. So I'm just going to keep going with it as a matter of consistency, because I find it's easier for me to follow the logic along if I do it that way. When I'm, if I do have to come back and find an error, it just is easier for me that way. Okay, but if yellow goes here, right? Now this is going to give us that this is part of where the clues come in of things, right? If the yellow is in here, right? This is an if. If the yellow is in here, right? We know that both of these colors are also still in the game. However, if yellow is there, orange can't go there. If yellow is there, orange can't go there, right, because of that white marble. And if yellow is there, right, because of this black marble, then orange can't go there either, which means orange only has one place left to go, right? Similarly, if we know that light blue is in the puzzle, but just not in either of those two spots, it only has one spot left to go to, so it has to go here. So here we go. If the yellow goes here, I necessarily would get 3 black scoring marbles over here, and then, on top of whatever I get with these 2 new things, which I'm just going to introduce dark blue. So then if dark blue is in the puzzle, I will see 4 black marbles, and if dark blue is not in the puzzle, then I will only see the 3 black marbles. I should see no white marbles. If that's the case, it means I've really screwed up my logic somewhere. Okay. It's not yellow. So that's that we have now deduced a thing. So yellow didn't go here, right? So it's not yellow here. So which one might it be, right? I'm going to just arbitrarily now choose that it's green. Oh, before I do that, let me back up. Let's slow down, Bill. All right, I know that it wasn't yellow here. I also know, since I only got 3 scoring marbles, right, that the dark blue is out, which means These are both in, right? So we'll worry about where to put them in a minute. Let's see if we can deduce and shave down some stuff. Now I'm running out of guesses, so I may not solve this one. And that's because this is a lousy strategy, you know what I mean, using one color at a time kind of thing. I mean, introducing one color at a time I do quite a bit, and that's fine, but starting off with a single color is just not a really good starting strategy. I just choose to do it this way because it's easy for me to just explain what's happening along here, right? Okay, so let's get back up to what we're looking at up here. All right, so again, we know that these three, the yellow, the light blue, and the orange, are in fact in the puzzle, right? They just can't be in these three positions, and we know that the dark blue is out. So let's see what we can do down here. So my first inclination would be to just move the yellow over one, right? Because again, going back down to this one, we know that orange can't go here, again, right? Because that means if it was the black marble, the yellow would have nowhere to go, right? So we know that orange doesn't go here, and that yellow just has to be in one of these four. So now I'm going to move it along to the next one, right? Just to have some way of making some progress. All right, so what does that lead us with? So, all right, well, we know that orange is in it, right? However, this is screwing us up, right? Because if yellow doesn't go here, oh, okay, wait a minute. If yellow doesn't go here, that means this white scoring marble referred to this yellow peg, or marble here, the guessing marble. Okay, that means orange must go here. So the yellow can't be here. I have to move it along one extra one. Let me put the orange up there, and I'll go through that again, just to make sure that I'm making it clear. Again, since I have a black marble here, right? Let's go all the way back to here. This black marble just tells me orange is in the puzzle, right? That's all it says. No more information than that, right? This black marble tells me, oh, because I also got a white marble, you know, here, right? So this means the black marble can't refer to orange because yellow, being in the puzzle, but not in any of those four spots, cannot go there, right? So orange can't go here. Yellow must be in one of these four. Yellow can't be in this spot, however, because of this score we just got, right? All whites. Yellow doesn't go there, right? Okay, that means yellow isn't here either, but that means orange must be. Okay, all right, so we found one for sure. So orange has to be there. Okay, but what does that mean here? It means, in this case, on this line here, right, we know that it's not yellow from our line up here. So yellow is, that's one of these white marbles, right? And obviously this is a white marble. And obviously this, excuse me, this is a non-scoring marble, I guess I should say, right? Because it's, you know, in the way here. Similarly here, this is a white marble though. Okay, so, so if the orange and the yellow are both white marbles because of their position, right? That means that the light blue, one of these two light blues, has to be the one that's scoring a black marble. So which one am I going to choose? Well, again, I'm just going to start over here to the left, just to, you know, I got to pick one, so let's just pick that one. All right. Now, if that's the case, then I need to have, well, I'm not going to do just one color at a time now because I know it's just down to these two. So let's do this, and then I'm going to walk through the logic again just to make sure that what I guess here is actually consistent with the scoring. All right, because the only thing I'm pretty sure, well, the only thing I am sure of at all is that orange goes here. Right, okay, so I get obviously a black marble here for that orange. I get a white marble for that orange, but then the black marble for this yellow, right? Okay, I get the black marble for this orange and a white marble for that yellow. Green not scoring at all. Now I get a black marble for this light blue, and yellow and orange both score white marbles, and these other ones just, they're non-scoring, right? But anyway, okay, now this last one here, I get nothing for the dark blues. I get a white marble for the yellow, I get a white marble for the light blue, and I get a white marble for this orange. So this is at least consistent with the scoring. But let's see what it gets us. All right. I think the thing that makes the most sense to me is to just flip magenta and purple. But again, that's not a, because there's probably a way that this could be the right one, right? You know what I mean? Over here. But let's just see what we have here. Let's go say orange we know about. Let's just assume that I got these correct in their spots there, because those obviously were consistent because of, you know, the way this got scored. And then let's just flip those two. Since this is the first time they're in the puzzle, they don't have any effect on any of the scoring down here. So that just seems to be the easiest thing to guess. So let's see what's what. Nope, see, it was the light blue over here, right? Okay, anyway, let's play again. All right. So I hope that kind of made sense. So I'm not going to do another single score or a single color guess here. I'm going to now just do a two color guess just to see how we go here. So I'm going to put red here, and then I'm going to fill in the rest with orange. So basically what I've done is I've just dropped off my first single color guess at the beginning and see if that gets us anywhere. Basically buying myself an extra guess up here at the end, right? Well, maybe. Okay. It's only one of those, so one of them is in, one of them's out. I'm going to guess that the orange is in just because there's more of them, right? I mean, it seems like, yeah, okay, statistically speaking, that's going to be the more likely one, yeah? So let's just choose that one. Actually, you know what, let's do this. It's because I've been doing the left to right thing. That, you know, I'm not going to do the left to right thing. This is an aesthetic choice. Sometimes I do left to right, but sometimes I just play around with the position because I think it looks pretty, you know what I mean? Okay, but the main point being that I'm going to assume that the black marble refers to this orange rather than that red, right? But if this is true, then that's saying that the red is not in it. Now it hasn't been deduced. This is just an if-then. So now let's introduce the yellow and see what that gets us. Okay, I do know that both of these are in there, so it is in fact the orange. However, it's not in that spot. But yellow can't be in any of those four spots, right? So that means yellow must be there. Now in part, outside of the weird laziness and whatnot, doing this sort of 4-in-1 thing, you're right, that gives, there's one of the benefits that you can reap if you get this sort of score. In any case, this will be a black marble now. There's no other option around that. So that is deduced, right? We have deduced that the yellow goes there. Okay, so orange goes somewhere. I'm just going to stick it here. And now what are we going to introduce? The green. Okay, let's see what this gives us. All right, now since we know that both orange and yellow are in the game, right, that means green's out. But the good news is yellow goes there and orange goes there. All right, now let's introduce the light blue. Now if light blue's in it, we'll get 3 black pegs. There you go, light blue is in it. So now it's going to come down to which of those 3, right? But we know about the yellow and we know about the orange. So now I'm just going to choose that the light blue goes like that, right? Again, this is an arbitrary guess. It's an if, right? It has to be one of these 3. Well, let's say if it's this one, and we're going to see what we get otherwise, right? As a result of choosing that. What happens here? All right, see now again, this white peg thing is going to play to our advantage. We'll get to that in a sec. Let's go ahead and put in the orange and the yellow because we know about them for sure. Now, again, we know both of these are in there now, right? Because I still have 2 scoring marbles for them, yeah? And dark blue can't go in either of those 2 spots. It must go there. All right, so I'm going to get 3 black marbles. Now I have 2 choices for the light blue. I'll just pick the left-hand one. And then let's toss in purple. right? All right, now we know that the 4 scoring colors, yellow, orange, dark blue, light blue, are in it, which means purple is not, right? We also are certain of the yellow and the orange and the dark blue, which means the light blue can't go here. It must go here, which, okay, we only have one color left, which is the magenta. This will be code cracked, right? Okay, let's just close the form, right? I hope that makes sense, right? Okay, so we did this. I'll just go through it again. I'm going to try to, I don't know. I hope I'm, making this clear. Don't kick the table in things, Bill. Okay. So I've guessed 2 colors here. I only got a score on one of them, which means only one of the 2 is in the puzzle. I guessed orange, and then I added yellow so that I would have 2 colors again to look at. All right, I got a score. I got 2 scoring marbles, which means, okay, since I'm only testing 2 colors, that means that both of those colors are in the puzzle. But since those are white scoring marbles, that means they're not in the right place, right? I've got, this tells me one of the colors. This tells me 2 of the colors, and I guessed correctly with the orange. But now I need to move them. So I moved them. Oh, on top of the fact that they're correct, I want to emphasize this again. Yellow is in the puzzle for certain because of the way I got 2 marbles here, but it cannot go in any of these 4 spots. It must go there. So we were guaranteed at least 1 black peg there, right? But then now I only have 3 leftover spots for the orange to try, right? Because, right, it got a black peg, right? So it has to be out of one of these 4, but not this one. So, but it turns out, lucky guess, it is this one. Okay. So that means we're always going to have 2 black pegs going forward, referring to these 2 guesses. All right. Now, I introduced light blue, and we got a black peg for it, which means okay. Right? So now, but I don't know which of the 3. Right? So again, these 2, we just keep going along because we know they're correct. We guessed the light blue there, and we introduced the dark blue. Okay, turns out we got a score of 2 white pegs here, which means that they're both in it, just not in the right spot. Well, if dark blue can't be here, it must be there, yeah? And then we're going to move light blue because it take up one of these spots here, right? Well, turned out we guessed the light blue wrong, right? Because we knew about this, we knew about this. We just deduced to this, so that has to be a black peg, right? The only thing was which one of these 2 does the light blue go in? Well, the white peg tells us not that one, so it has to be that one. Now I've already guessed purple, right? So the only color left is the magenta, so we put that there, and bingo, that's the puzzle, yeah? All right, so I'm going to do, I'm going to hope that I've made that clear. I hope it's hard for me to tell whether I'm being clear to people because I used to be a tutor for math and logic, but I was working directly with students, right? So I could hear their immediate responses and see their body language, and this kind of thing, so I could tell whether I was getting through or not. But since I'm doing this remotely, I'm not interacting directly with you guys in real time. I mean, you make comments and I might respond to the comments, but that's all future activity, right? That's nothing to do with, what's going on here and now. Anyway, I'm going to hope that this is fine. And then, so yeah, let's just refresh this and get a new puzzle. All right, now I'm going to play it more like what I usually play it with. So I almost always start with 3 colors and usually do 1 of each of one and then 3 of another. And you can arbitrarily choose how you want to arrange them. Sometimes I do it more like this kind of a thing, right, where I do every other one. And sometimes I do it like this, where there's like a clump. Today I'm going to choose to do the clump. I think somehow I think it'll go better with this being a tutorial if I do it that way. I think it'll be easier for people to see, especially given that that's kind of the layout I've already been doing, right? So you'd have blocks of colors together if you can have, Anyway, so again, arbitrary guessing, red, orange, and then fill up the rest with yellow. So I'm only testing 3 colors right now. All right, I get 2 of those. So one of them's out, but we don't know which one yet. okay, just because yellow has 3, because it's more opportunities to be right, I'm going to just say, okay, it's one of those 3. I don't know. But this again, I'm guessing here. So let's guess the yellow there. And now it means one of these 2 goes somewhere else. All right, I'm going to put the orange here at the other end, just because it's got to go somewhere. Other than that, right? Assuming that the yellow goes there. Right, both of these things are just guesses, right? This guess here is consistent with this black scoring marble, right? As is this orange being consistent with that white scoring marble, but it's based on some assumptions, right? Okay, but it is just a guess. So anyway, let's move forward. I'm going to introduce the green. Come on, there we go. And see what this gets us. Well, we know green is out, right? Because I know that 2 colors from here are in. Oh, wait a minute. We do not know that green is out, do we? Aha, see, I almost made a logical error here. It could be that green is out because I did guess these 2 correctly. I didn't deduce that red was out, right? I guessed the yellow and I guessed the orange. Okay, I am going, however, to assume that I guessed correctly because nothing contradicts that guess. I like to work that way. I like to go, okay, once I've made the assumption, let me work through until I can contradict it in some manner. And that seems to be a good method for me. So let's assume that the yellow goes there. And then now orange is still the white marble scorer, so it can't go in either of these 2 spots. So let's put it somewhere else. I'll put it over here next to the yellow. Okay, now let's put in the light blue here. Okay, the good news is that red is out. And I know that because I'm testing 3 colors and I have 3 scoring marbles. Okay, now, again, since I have no contradiction as of yet for yellow being somewhere else, I'm going to go ahead and stick the yellow there. But again, this is still kind of based on a hunch, guess, whatever. All right, but if the yellow is where the black marble goes, light blue can't go in any of these 3 spots, which means that the light blue necessarily goes there, right? However, also, orange can't go here, orange can't go here, so therefore orange must go there, right? So if yellow is correct, then I should expect to see 3 black marbles. And now we'll introduce the dark blue and see what that gets us. All right. Yay for me, I guessed properly. So yellow goes there, light blue goes here, orange goes here, right, because these are all black pegs. Now, the dark blue also gives us a black peg, but which of these 2, right? It's a little uncertain. Well, yeah, it's completely uncertain. So I'm just going to choose the left-hand one, and then I'm going to introduce the purple and see what that gets us. Code cracked. Okay. All right, let's go back and close that. And so I'll walk through this, and then I'll play one more game, and then I think I'll call that quits. All right, so I had tested 3 colors. 2 of them were correct, right? So I decided to choose orange and yellow, right? I decided to choose that I thought yellow was the more likely one to be the black peg. So I just, all right, which of these 3? I arbitrarily chose this one over here. And then, so since I decided to blow off red, I'm putting orange over here. Again, that's just an arbitrary choice. Then I introduced the green, okay? The score here tells me that green is out, right? But the yellow is consistent, at least, with this score, right? But not certain yet, right? However, if I choose to keep this one here for that black marble, that means that orange cannot be in this position. So it'll have to be among one of these 2, right? So now moving upwards, I kept the yellow, because again, this is a guess and I'm hoping it's correct because nothing has contradicted it yet. So, right? And then, okay, which of these two spots would the orange go into. I again arbitrarily chose that it would be the right of those two spots, and then filled up the rest of those with light blue. The score, as a result of that guess, was again that I have a black marble, and I'm hoping that it's the yellow, right? But now I get 2 white marbles, referring to these 2 colors, right? Because I'm still just testing 3 colors, right? Well, orange doesn't go there, and light blue can't go in any of these 3. So I know for sure that light blue has to go there, assuming the yellow is correct. So if the yellow is correct, light blue must go there. Then I just arbitrarily decided to move, well, move yellow, orange there, excuse me. But it turns, let's back up a quick second. It has to be there, isn't it? If the yellow goes here, then the light blue must go there. The only spot left for the orange is there, right? So I was to expect at least 3 black marbles, right? But then introducing the dark blue, turns out it was in fact in the puzzle. Since those are the only 2 spots left, it had to be one of them, so therefore a black marble, right? And now here, keeping these, because we're certain about those positions now, right? That's just basically a reading of the information, frankly. And then I decided to choose the left-hand side here for the dark blue, and I introduced the purple just to see, because I only have 2 more colors to test. Turned out that the purple was correct. Code cracked, right? And do I want to play one more of it? Okay, that's a half hour of tutorial on this one, because I also wanted to touch on ring. So I'm going to leave this alone. Hopefully this was useful for any of you guys who are trying to learn the game. If not, let me know what bits you don't understand down in the comments. If I can, I'll just answer it in the comments, if it's a simple thing. But if not, then I'll try to, well, I'll just come back to this video and look at those comments and respond to them in the next tutorial video if I need to make another one. Anyway, so now let's move on to ring, shall we? Now ring, I think, is easy enough to explain, because it's more really about organization and memory. Hang on, I need to do this. Let's do this here. I think. Nope, oh, I don't want that. Oh, there we go. Okay, I thought it was lighter than that. Okay, let's just turn that. Leave that alone there. All right. Okay, anyway, let's say magenta, like that. Okay, so we know the magenta is in the puzzle, but not in that spot, right? So the scoring pegs mean the same thing, or marbles, or whatever, right? So I guessed magenta. I got this scoring peg. Magenta's in the puzzle, just not in that spot. So let's guess it for this spot. All right, it's still not in that spot either. So let's put it here. All right, I know that magenta goes here for certain, right? Now I just have to remember that. It's not these 2, it's this one, right? Now I just like to move along in order just because it's easier for me to keep track of what I'm doing. And again, I got a white score for this one, right? So the black marble refers to that, and the white marble refers to this one. So purple's in it, just not there, right? I still haven't found the right spot for the purple. Still haven't found the right spot for the purple. Still haven't, so it's going to be in this one there. Okay, so that's the purple. This is the magenta. Let's go ahead and accept this to keep the magenta. Now let's introduce, because I have these 4 to deal with now, right? So let's start with the dark blue. And we know that dark blue's in it, just not there. So let's go ahead and turn that one dark blue. Okay, so we have purple, magenta, and dark blue. Those are all correct. That one and these 2 are both not in the puzzle, right? Okay, so we've had dark blue. Let's introduce light blue. Okay, light blue is not in it, so it has to be either in this spot or this spot. So let's go ahead and try this spot. Right? Now let's keep this. Let's accept to keep that. Okay, so we know purple goes here, magenta goes here, dark blue goes here, and light blue goes there. So these two spots are now what we're dealing with, right? So now let me introduce green. Nope, green's not in it. So keep the dark blue. Let's move along to yellow. Yellow's not in it either. So we know that both orange and red are in it. Now it's just around, we just have to get around to these two spots. So keep accepting until you get to the spot you want to change. Right, and then now we're here. So we're going to change it. Let me just try the orange one first. Right, it was the orange one, which means now, once I move to that appropriate spot, I'll change this to red, and this will be, you know, that we've cracked the code. All right. So I hope that makes more sense. Let me do one more of those. Oops, I'm going to do ring, not that one. Okay, here we go. All right, so, okay, yeah, I think one more will be sufficient. I think this, for me, it seems like this one's easier conceptually. The hard part is just keeping your head straight, not, you know, like, oh crap, which one was it? You know, I mean, that kind of thing. Because there's my problem. Like, I'll go, oh, wait a minute, which one of these two was it? You know, that kind of thing. That's why I tend to just move along in order. It helps me just keep track. Anyway, so again, let's start with magenta. Yay, right off the bat. Okay, let's start with purple, or move next to purple. Wow, okay. Is this going to be... Okay, dark blue's out, but we know those are right where they need to be. So let's put in the light blue. Okay, light blue is in, but not in what we've tried so far. Okay. All right, we're going to keep the magenta. We're going to keep the purple. And we know that dark blue's out. So this is really the last place to try light blue, isn't it? So it's going to have to be there. So we're going to get a black peg for that, or a black marble for that. Yippee-yay. All right, so now we have these three to worry about guessing for. Let's go ahead and continue on with green. All right, we know green's in it, but we haven't found the spot yet, so let's just keep going. All right, this is going to be another black marble because that's the last place for it to try. Right, okay, now let's get around. Let's accept this one. Let's accept that one. Let's go ahead and accept that one. Okay, so now it's these two that are out as far as them being green, right? They're not green. They have to be something else. Let's go ahead and try yellow. Wow, okay, yellow was it. So this one is either orange or red. So let's just go ahead and start with orange, shall we? Nope. So it's going to be red. So just keep accepting them until you get the little blue circle around where you want it to be. And there we go. This should be red. There you go. Okay. I hope that made sense to you guys. And again, if not, if there was something that was unclear or I didn't, you know, answer or didn't explain it well enough for you to understand, by all means, put something in the comments. And I'll try to, if it's a simple question, I'll just answer it, you know, by responding to the comment in written form. But if it's significant or I think it's suitable for making another tutorial video, I'll do that. So don't, you know, don't be shy. If you know, if I haven't, if you didn't get it, it's not necessarily you. It could be that the way I explained it just didn't, you know, jive with you, right? You know what I mean? So it could be me as well. Not everybody's explanation works for everybody, right? So we'll, you know, anyway, I hope that worked out for you guys. I hope that it helped you learn the game, if that's what you're interested in. And if you were just here to, you know, watch me play another game because you like the sound of my voice and just want to gel out to me doing the game, I hope it worked for you for that purpose, you know, whatever it was for you that made it work, right? Anyway, be kind to each other and all that kind of thing. Much love. Aloha, siblings.